Okay, you guys, so I figured it would be nice for you to know, just like I've been saying, we now more than ever need to make sure we have discernment and to make sure that we are checking the information that we're given. So I figured with that kind of on my brain, I would show you a little bit about the back end of every month when I pull market stats. This is what I'm doing. So it's the 18th of June already. Usually I do this around the 8th, but with summertime and everything, you know, things are changed a little bit on timelines, but that's okay. So we're gonna get the data for May, and then June's will be out July between the 5th and the 8th. I always like to do it around the 8th because I have in the past pulled it on the 5th, the second it's available. So it takes a few days for the Trend Graphix company to get all the trends for the market and compile the information together into this document. So I'm kind of going to toggle between the two screens. This is the actual PDF of what we're going to be talking about. Some of it is information, like it's really easy to read this, and sometimes it's really easy to read, which I'm going to show you really quick. Oh, can't toggle back, hold on. Okay, this is what I'm looking at when I'm talking about market stats. Look at this fun stuff. Oof. Lucky me, right? But this is Trend Graphix report. This is from my MetroList that we have on Prospector Plus. This is available to us as real estate agents here. Amador County, we are part of MetroList, but there's other MLSs that we have. This is for like the Bay Area, San Francisco MLS listings. This is, I think, Central. Anyway, this is the one that we're a part of. And I can do all sorts of stuff, you guys. If you're wanting to know specifics, like any acreage, number of bedrooms, I can expand this information. So that way, if you have any questions on specific data, I can give it to you. So I can do, normally I'll just do, this is Amador County, and then I can break it down in different cities within Amador County. I could do all 14 counties combined in the area. I could also just do Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado, and Yolo counties. I can do Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties. Again, I'm doing Amador County. I can also just do it by city. I can also do my base 4 that I usually do is Ione and Lake Comanche is 1 because they're pretty close together. Jackson, Plymouth, and Sutter Creek. The other ones I don't usually touch on unless we have, if I have a client looking in Pioneer or Volcano or, you know, a specific area, then I will look at that market information. But this serves me just fine with the 4 areas. But I do like to have a broad overview of Amador County as a whole, and this kind of gives us the beginning stats for that. So taking you through this a little bit, this is how many properties were for sale as for May of 2025. 291 for sale, 42 sold, and 45 pended or went pending, however you want to say that, it really doesn't matter. These are today's stats as well. So I really have quite a bit of information that I can get for you. So if you ever have a question, let me know, because this is all the data. Like, this is what I normally use. I can do the last 15-month calendar quarter, 15 weeks, 15 years. As you can see, I have so many options, and these are the ones that usually, so last month, this was April, March, February, January, but as you can see, it goes back 15 months to make sure we really have accurate data from, so we're gonna go current versus previous month, current versus same time 1 month, or same month a year ago, so same time last year. So it's important to kind of go back even further just to make sure they have those numbers up to date. And as you can see, they go back 3 months, so that's why sometimes every month the numbers can kind of skew. Maybe a property doesn't post properly, or to get the information doesn't get added to MetroList in time, and so the numbers have to get skewed once that information gets updated. And so by the next month, that's up to date. So it really, again, this is a snapshot in time. These are not facts, you guys. So just remember, this is a constantly changing thing. Just like if you were to go to an airport and look at the planes that are landing and taking off, it's going to be different every single day. So this is just what it looks like, so that you understand the data. This is actual data that I'm pulling. I'm not just making these numbers up because they sound cool. Okay, and this is actually my little beefy spreadsheet. I'll share you guys a little bit. This is what I'm going to be doing for May. So as you can see, I've done it for March. This is the market data. I know this is kind of overwhelming. Like, I have some notes that I've changed things. But this gives you, so I have Ione and Lake Comanche, Jackson, Sutter Creek, Plymouth, There's nothing below that. And then I have Rancho Murrieta, Rancho Cordova, Galt, Harold, and Wilton, Eldorado Hills, and Folsom/EDH. These are different areas within MetroList. And as you can see, I put some notes here, so I changed this. So I have an extra Eldorado Hills. So in April, I added this separately because as you can see for March, all of that's quite a few houses to deal with. But in April, we're still dealing with a lot, but that way we can kind of remove just Eldorado Hills and the Folsom Eldorado Hills area. Like there's a cutoff between the two. And as you can see, these are the areas that MLS recognizes, and these are the zip codes that they cover. Anyway, so this was for April. And as you see here, I like to do all of Amador County. I could do all of East Sacramento where I could combine all of these. Like when I go over here, I'm toggling over, I could do that. I could tell it, let's do Eldorado Hills and Folsom EDH, and we can do Sacramento's down here a little bit. But you can do all the different areas down here. Where are you? Like Galt, Folsom vicinity, Harold, Wilton's way down. Anyway, yeah, as you can see what I'm trying to show you. So I could do that, but I'm just going to do a snapshot of Amador County and then kind of a breakdown of each one of these here. And as you can see, I can do my little notes in the margins, but this is what I'm working on for May. So far I have gone through this guy. I'm toggling back over. So 291 homes compared to 223 homes this time last month. That was an increase of 30.5%. See right there, 291 homes, 223 on last month, and that's an increase of 30.5. And I've already done some really cool like conditional formatting. So if I did like negative 13%, it would show up as red. I like to do that so then if it's at neutral or zero, if it had no change, it stays gray. So like you'll see for April, makes it easier for things to pop out at me. So anyway, but I'm just giving you guys the basics so you understand when I'm talking about market data, this is the information that I'm looking at, and this is the information that I'm providing to you. So you know that this is not just me making up numbers so it sounds cool or impress my buyers or my sellers or give you information that's, to my benefit in some way. I'm here to just give you the stats and you do what you will with them. And if you have questions on them, I still have my market update video that I want to do that has like a summary of kind of like real estate market data or market stats 101. So as you can see here, like we have a market highlight. This little guy pulls up, just the basics of what each little snapshot is talking about, each page here. Because as you can see, I have all these different tabs that I use. And like for instance, average price per square foot. I've said this in a previous market update video, and this will be in my market update video. Basically, like for price per square foot, I know a lot of people swear by knowing this, because to them it makes them feel like it is the most accurate data. But if you actually, because even when you look at the actual PDF version of it, remember this guy, it will even say the average sold price per square foot is a great indicator for the direction of property values, since median sold prices and average sold prices can be impacted by the mix of high or low end properties on the market. The average sold price per square foot is a more normalized indicator on the direction of property values. However, I tend to disagree just a little bit. Yes, it may show where the direction of property values are, but think of it this way. Like I've had a situation like this where I actually was in a training and I had one of the trainers, she was telling us this situation where she had worked on a new home community and there were two different types of floor plans. And there was one house floor plan that had maybe 200 square feet less, but it was an open concept floor plan. And then they had this other one that was more of a concept, like compartmentalized. It had like a separate dining room, living room, family room, and it was had actually 200 square foot more, but because of the way that it was structured, it looked smaller. And in that area, a lot of buyers were wanting those big open concept floor plans. So that house with 200 less square feet was actually going and selling for more because it was more desired than the other floor plan. So that is why that's always stuck in my head. I don't use price per square foot because it can be skewed based on that kind of thing. So really knowing the other numbers, I feel like is a better determination. And, you know, like I'm showing you in my spreadsheet, keeping track of it every single month and what we're seeing is the best way to really see where the market's going. But that may be something really good for economists. If they just want to get a bare bones, you know, like price per square foot, that might work for them. But if you're actively looking and buying and selling houses, this may not be the best indicator. So anyway, so then you can go to days on market, average price for sale, sold, months of inventory. This one's nice because it tells you May, so 6.9 months of inventory. Last month it was 5.4 months of inventory, and then last year it was 5.7 months of inventory. But if you go look at that spreadsheet or the PDF version of it, I like how, it's right here. So this tells you a little snapshot to remind you of what does months of inventory mean. So that's basically just the number of homes that are currently on the market, how long it would take them to sell based on the average sales volume for the month. So based on how many properties are out there and how much are, you know, the closed sales, it was 6.9 months that it would take for all the properties to sell on the market currently. So that is what they're talking about. Here it says the buyer's market is more than 6 months of inventory. So as you can see, we're just above that 6-month line. So we're technically in a buyer's market, and it says it right here. But also, if we're in a seller's market, it's less than 3 months of inventory, and the neutral market is between 3 and 6 months. So I'm going back to my spreadsheet to show you. So 6.9 months was this month. Last month we were at 5.4. So we were in a neutral market. Last year we were just barely in a neutral market. So, and then you can even look at April's numbers, months of inventory, we were still in a pretty neutral market. 4.1 was getting closer to a seller's market. And in March, again, it was 5.2 months, down from 4.7 the month before, 4.7 last year. So as you can see, it kind of goes back and forth. The pendulum's kind of swinging back and forth. Technically, we're in a buyer's market, but it really could change. Like I've seen it jump up to like 9 months of inventory and then go back down to 4. So it really just depends on what's going on every month and what's going on with the economy. And this is why I'm always updating you with my market update videos. Not only am I going to show you this information, but I'm also going to talk about the things that are going on with our economy right now, and inflation and tariffs and all the unknowns that could impact the real estate market. And I feel like a lot of agents miss this step because it's super crucial when you're planning to make a move. It's hard to really time the market. I don't necessarily suggest that. When you need to buy or sell is the time I suggest that you do it. But if, let's say, you know you're moving in 6 months and you kind of want to know, okay, what month is the best month, we can kind of look at these numbers, see what they're trending as, and it gives you more of an accurate picture of what's going on versus just throwing things out there and just be like, I hope it works out. You know, you can kind of see the trends. So this is why I'm here doing this every single month for you guys, filling out these spreadsheets, making sure I check all the data, make sure it's all accurate, so that you guys have that information at your fingertips. So if you have any questions or you want specific data information, like I'm telling you here, I could do pretty much anything you need. Just let me know. I can even give you the graph too. Oh, but I did want to point out, so this is telling us the market highlight. This is kind of the basics. And then the quick guide, it tells us like exactly what this information means. So look out for that other market update video that I will be doing here in the next couple days. Probably on Friday, I will be posting it for May of 2025 for Amador County and East Sacramento and those areas that I just showed you. And then I'm also going to be doing that explainer video that's going to kind of give you this quick guide information so you understand what all of this means. And you don't have to go back to like September of 2024, that market update, to go look at it. You just have an explainer video that I can just send you really quick, or I'll have it as a link in my bio or whatever platform we're on, so that way you can have it as a quick reference for yourself. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, I'm always here. I'll leave my information below, and you guys have a great day. Bye.